now we got to talk about Tulsi Gabbard, because she, as somebody who's not going to be part of national intelligence anymore, is now releasing never-before-seen communiques and documents exposing how Dr. Fauci provided millions in taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab. Is this another situation where we look at soft power and we call it bad? Like, is it that again? Is that what we're doing again? Once again? Okay, sure. Why not? Why not? Let's go ahead and see here. Said, what were those words again? These words right here. Today, on my final day as Director of Intelligence, I am releasing never-before-seen communications and documents exposing how Dr. Fauci provided millions in taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab, worked with politicized elements within the intelligence community. By the way, all elements in the intelligence community are politicized, every single one of them. Politics is just shit I don't agree with. To suppress the truth about his actions and hide the virus's lab leak origins, and lied to Congress while under oath in 2024. It's time you knew the truth. Yeah, she could have done this at any other point in time. Nope, it's got to be now, as she's leaving, so that she can remain relevant, I guess. A disagreement between Senator Rand Paul and Dr. Anthony Fauci has put $600,000 of U.S. grant money to the Wuhan Institute of Virology back into the spotlight, while making gain-of-function research a household term, all amid calls for more investigation into the origins of SARS-CoV-2. Pinball Machine, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. At issue is whether the National Institute of Health-funded research on bat coronaviruses could have caused a pathogen to become more infectious to humans, and separately, if SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes the disease COVID-19, transferred naturally from bats to humans, possibly through an intermediate host or animal, or if a virus, a natural occurring one, or in a lab-enhanced one, was accidentally released from the lab. So just out of curiosity, I'm just going to throw this out on the table real quick. I just want to ask you guys a really quick question. Is the CDC evil? Is the United States Center for Disease Control evil? I ask you this because we have diseases that are dead there. We have diseases that have not seen the earth there, that we have tried to make sure that we can immunize people from. We have all kinds of shit locked up there right now. And if something were to happen, if something were to break down, if something were to leak, would that suddenly make them evil and bad? Or does it mean a mistake happened? Like, I'm sorry, but funding an organization that happens to have a virus and the virus happens to get out does not automatically make the organization the umbrella org. Even if that is the case. Like, that is me trying to give maximum credibility to the statement. And it still does not mean that we have fucking umbrella or tricell. Let's start with what we know. In 2014, the NIH awarded a grant to the United States-based EcoHealth Alliance to study the risk of future emergence of coronaviruses from bats. In 2019, the project was renewed for another 5 years, but it was canceled in 2020, 3 months after the first case of the coronavirus was confirmed in the United States. EcoHealth ultimately received $3.7 million over 6 years from the NIH and distributed nearly $600,000 to of that total to China's Wuhan Institute of Virology, a collaborator on the project pre-approved by the NIH. The grant cancellation came at a time when then-President Donald Trump and others questioned the U.S. funding to the lab in Wuhan while exaggerating the amount of federal money involved. So, Tulsi says $600,000 is actually millions of dollars. Meanwhile, we give $300 billion to Iran, I guess? Based and MAGA-pilled? The Wuhan Institute of Virology has studied bat coronaviruses for years and their potential to ultimately infect humans, under the direction of scientist Shi Zhenglai, as the Scientific American explained in a June 2020 study. Such zoonotonic transfer, meaning the transmission of a virus from an animal to a human of coronaviruses, occurred with the SARS and MERS coronaviruses, which led to global outbreaks in 2003 and 2012. Both viruses are thought to have started in bats and then transferred into humans through intermediate animals, civets and raccoon dogs in the case of SARS, and camels in the case of MERS. Experts have suspected that SARS-CoV-2 similarly originated in bats. Researchers in China have said that the virus shares 96% of its genome with a bat virus collected by researchers in 2013 in the Yunnan province in China. While that's quite similar, Dr. Stanley Perlman, a professor of microbiology and immunology at the University of Iowa, who studies coronaviruses and a pediatric infectious disease physician, told us it would be impossible to take such a virus and make the kind of changes required to turn it into SARS-CoV-2 in a lab. One would need a virus that is 99.9% similar, and in theory, it might work. An article published in Nature Medicine in March 2020 said that the virus likely originated through natural selection in an animal host before zoonotonic transfer, or natural selection in humans following zoonotonic transfer. The researchers who analyzed genomic data said SARS-CoV-2 is not a laboratory construct or a purposefully manipulated virus. While they said an accidental laboratory release of the naturally occurring virus can't be ruled out, they said they do not believe any type of lab-based scenario is actually plausible. So, that's the beginning of this. There's a lot more information in here. But I wanted to show you that, at least up to that point, so you could see where the research is leaning. For years, the research has leaned that, yeah, funding came from us to Wuhan. That's how soft power works. And it's better for us to share research amongst different scientific organizations rather than fucking hoard them for ourselves and not actually distribute this to everybody because, as it turns out, we're all fucking humans. But I guess I'll be called a globalist or something stupid for that. But anyway, here's Tulsi Gabbard really making me question everything I know about white hair.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
So, dangerous gain-of-function. Again, I guess that means that the CDC is evil, because we studied all kinds of terrible viral shit. We studied it. It was dangerous. That means it's bad. The Manhattan Project was also bad, despite the fact that it's powering so much good shit. Jessica Davis says, God, I hate her too. Sean Helvin says, she really needs to get rid of her hair. It's insulting to Rouge, or Rogue. Rogue did it better. Dorito says, I can fix her. No, you can't. No, you can't. Like, again, bad things can come of research. Manhattan Project. We got nuclear bombs out of it, but we also got nuclear power out of it. The lab. Let's assume that they are right and it leaked from the lab. A lot of the information on how we can develop vaccines for this infection would have also come from similar research. So, I'm sorry, but the CDC is not evil simply because we study things that can be bad or dangerous. That's exactly what's going on.
Work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic.
So, widely viewed as the source. By whomst? Because none of the information I have looked up at all suggests that widely viewed as the source is accurate to this particular situation.
Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions.
Politicized career leadership, also meaning opinionated Democrats or some shit. You know, the people who are more likely to actually agree with what science says. Weird. That one, actually. Kind of strange, but I don't know. Said never before seen because they didn't exist 24 hours ago. Yeah, this literally feels like I would like to be relevant on my last day. This is shitting in the ice cream machine at McDonald's right before you leave so that everybody has a story about you.
Virus's lab leak origins and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives.
Hold on a minute. I'm curious. Was COVID a hoax? Because I remember MAGA saying just vehemently that COVID was a hoax. I also remember specifically everybody saying that it was just going to be a flu. It wasn't that bad. But now, conveniently, it's a terrible thing that happened that killed countless lives. Also, I noticed that the statement has changed from widely viewed to 100% guaranteed. So, that's odd. That's strange how that just completely morphed. Okay. Let's see here. I said the Suris has just rated with 276 viewers. Holy fucking shit. Lance, how's it going? I haven't talked to you in 3.5 years? Something like that? Anyway, how's it going? We are talking about Tulsi Gabbard lying about Dr. Fauci. Also, Danmanland, how's it going? Avalon says, hello, Canadians. Nighthawk and Trout with Cloud, thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. Arcot says immediate ad break. Oh my god. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Why ad breaks? Why now? Why instantaneously? How's it going, Political Puppy? How's it going, Bella's Free? Rocket says, I missed the whole segment. I was listening to the radioactive shrimp from Walmart. Oh my god. How's it going, Senshini? Good to see you. How's it going, Igo BC? Fragwits? Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are having a great time. Hopefully things weren't too depressing over there with Lance. Kiwi Rocket says, right before the 2019 pandemic, my dad had to go to China for work after he flew home. He had to stay in quarantine for 3 weeks. After he got back to the U.S., he came home and he was telling everybody to stock up on supplies. And at the time, all of his friends didn't believe him and everybody around him thought he was crazy. Yeah, well, Noah's Ark, some shit, I guess. So Dorito sent me something on this, actually, that I think we need to take a look at, and it is where shit is incorrect here. Okay. Huh? Ain't no fucking way. Okay, so check this out. These are the approved for public release documents that came out today. Over 40 labs built and supported in Ukraine as part of the information there. And it's really funny that Dorito just pointed this out to me. But, hey, look. Here's Kyiv, right here, in northern Ukraine. So why is the document showing where the Kiev lab is? Why is it in southern Ukraine? What? How? What? No. Incorrect. I'm sorry, if you can't get the basic fucking geography right at all. Said Crimea. Also, yeah, Crimea being there as a city, but Crimea's actually a province that got annexed by Russia during the during previous admin. Okay, sure. Why not? Why not? We'll just have everything completely fucking incorrect. All of it. See, it's all bullshit. Yep, it's all bullshit. All of it. Every single bit of it. Said AI generated or stupid people? AI generated. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm fairly certain it's AI generated at that point. And they've got it highlighted here so that it looks horrible. Like, they were studying anthrax, tuberculosis, swine fever, MERS, SARS. Yeah, no fucking duh. If you're an infectious disease expert, you would be studying those things. That's how that works, you fucking morons. Of course you would be studying those things. That's how it works. You can't just learn about an infectious disease by putting your head in the fucking dirt like an ostrich. I'm sorry, no. AI-generated government documents, chef kiss. Oh my god. Ukraine Labs web of connections to the U.S. BW defense industry. Yeah, the CDC, the known defense CDC, with resolution so low that I also think that maybe this was AI generated too. I'm sorry, but like the text looks wrong when I zoom into it. So they also have samples of the Black Death. Yeah. Yep. I said you can blame this on George Bush Jr. Like, did you know that a lot of our funding for immunology also comes from our military funds? Did you know why? Because when we send our soldiers overseas, do you know what we do? We jab them. We jab them a fucking lot. We actually need military money to go into research about immunology because we send people to countries where we have to fucking immunize them. Again, none of this is weird. None of this is strange. This is all shit you would expect. Dorita says, I have something on that. Then type it out. We're going to continue listening to the weird lady. Said I have something on that? Oh, hold on. What is this? A flu outbreak sickens 200 trainees at Lackland Air Force Base. More than 200 service members in Texas have contracted the flu following a new Pentagon policy that allows flu vaccines to be optional. No, I'm sorry, vaccines should not be optional. No. Vaccines are there for protection of all of us, much like how it's not optional for you to decide whether or not you get to aim a gun at somebody. It should not be optional for you to have a vaccine unless you have a specific reason for not getting one, like you are allergic to something in the fucking vaccine. I'm sorry, but you do not get to be the person that decides whether or not it is okay for you to infect other fucking people. Don't worry, we have a spike in people getting infected when people decided that they would rather get infected.
Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to...
So the guy who was in charge of it had influence over it? That is so weird. How did that even happen? How could we have ever let that happen? Holy fucking shit.
Congress in 2024, when under oath, he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received...
Right, that's not being very specific on what those conversations were, ma'am. Not at all. Not enough for me to add weight to that.
Testimony from...
Said, is the woman talking AI generated? You know, I have gotten a little bit of that uncanny valley from her. I don't know if she is. Liz Chris, thank you for gifting a sub. Said, sirs, who promoted Fauci to his position? Let's see here. Let's see who did it. Let's see who promoted him. 2020, appointed to the White House Coronavirus Task Force by President Donald Trump. Oh, I see. I see what this is. This is about tying up loose ends, isn't it? No.
Multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins. Once again, revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth.
Right, but you haven't said what the truth is. And silencing critics, yeah, if I'm in a conference about circling the globe and a flat earther's there, yeah, I'm gonna fucking silence the flat earther. Like, we have complimentary duct tape for idiots. I am sorry.
Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence community enabled him to assume 3 key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr.
Wait. We're talking about leadership setting up a system where they would be able to abstain from being scrutinized and therefore not get punished for their actions. Tulsi, are you talking about your boss, Donald Trump, or are we talking about Fauci still? Because, like, I'm fairly certain that that's just the shit Donald Trump has done, like, 4 fucking years.
Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research.
Again, this is like saying funded dangerous anthrax research. If we are looking for a way to combat anthrax in the U.S. military-industrial complex, we are by nature studying dangerous anthrax research. But if you frame it that way, everybody's going to just blast you because freedom seeds are better than dealing with non-patriots.
Linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines.
Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines. Do you know how good a universal vaccine would be? Do you know how fantastic a one-stop shop so that people would stop infecting each other would be good? Also, Dorito says, no, it's worse. Gain of function isn't inherently bad, but she's claiming it is. Yellow rice, for example. No, I understand that. I understand it. What I'm doing is I am granting the premise. So I have learned in argumentation that granting the premise is one of the best things you can do. Instead of trying to fight somebody on the nitty-gritty of every way that they are fucking wrong, grant them the strongest version of their argument they have, and then show how it's actually a house of cards that's made to topple super easy. Like, let's assume that it's incredibly dangerous. Let's assume that it's deadly. It's destructive. It's the worst thing in the world. Let's take exactly what she's saying and implying and take it to its logical conclusion. We studied anthrax because we needed ways to fight anthrax. We studied mustard gas, so we had ways to deal with mustard gas. But we did dangerous mustard gas research, I guess. She said, fine, make shorter videos. Look, I find that there are ways to tackle things. There's the debunk way, where you get every single thing that they got factually incorrect and you knock it down. And that is fantastic. That's great. I respect people who do that, and I do that sometimes when it's something that I have a lot of knowledge on. However, if it is something where the premise of their argument is so fucking bad that we can grant it the entire way through, we can grant everything they're saying, and it's still stupid. God, that's so much easier. So this is why I can't do your shit. My autism would be like, what did she mean by the word is?
Worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked...
The behind-the-scenes advisor appointed by whom? Who appointed him to that position, Tulsi? AI-generated Tulsi Gabbard.
So-called experts pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that...
You mean the animal origin that all of the research points to right here? All of it? Every single bit of it? Gain of function is a term that can describe any type of virology research that results in the gain of a certain function. But the type that's controversial, including among scientists, is research that causes pathogens to be more infectious, particularly to humans. In 2014, the U.S. government put a pause on new funding of gain-of-function research, which it defined this way: with an ultimate goal of better understanding disease pathways, gain-of-function studies aims to increase the ability of infectious agents to cause disease by enhancing its pathogenicity or by increasing its transmissibility. A 2016 paper on the ethics of gain-of-function said the ultimate objective of such research is to better inform public health preparedness efforts and or be better at developing medical countermeasures. Holy fucking shit. It's almost like in order to fight anthrax, you need to study anthrax. In order to fight a disease, you have to know at least a little bit about the disease. Otherwise, we're going back to draining fucking pus out of our bodies, trying to get our humors correct. Real Lucky says all research into communicable diseases is potentially dangerous, but it's worth the risk if you're trying to fight off said diseases. Exactly. A Nature article at the time explains there had been fierce debate among scientists on exactly what research should be deemed too risky, and some confusion on where the line would be drawn for this pause. Said viruses are always mutating. Then a microbiologist said, Arturo, a microbiologist at Albert Einstein College, he said it's difficult to determine how much mutation deliberately created by scientists might be reasonably anticipated to make a virus more dangerous, to the point at which the White House states research must stop. In July 2014, a group of scientists and experts called Cambridge Working Group issued a statement calling for such a pause of experiments involving the creation and potential pandemic pathogens until there's been a quantitative, objective, and credible assessment of the risks, potential benefits, and opportunities of risk mitigation. And they wanted to have ways to engage with safer experimental approaches. None of that is saying this research is bad. It's just saying it's risky. You know what other research was risky? Every single bit of nuclear research we have ever done. All of it. Every single bit of it. All of it. From top to bottom, Tulsi. I'm sorry, but research being dangerous does not evil it make.
That he funded using taxpayer dollars. All of this in...
How would you expect government agencies to be funded, Tulsi? Do you expect it to be done via Girl Scout cookies? The taxpayer funding here is doing a whole lot of lifting in terms of ethics. I don't give two flying shits. It's a government agency. Taxpayer funding is what I expect.
A deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions.
Right. So you think Fauci caused COVID? Because you haven't actually said specifically what he's done yet. Did he cause COVID? Is that what we're blaming him for? Is that what happened? Because you've basically just said Fauci did shady things. Bad things. What things did he do? Awful things. No, tell me, please. What did they do? Terrible things. No, please, I want to fucking know. Oh, they were awful. And he covered them up, too. How scandalous. No, woman, please, tell me, what the fuck did he do?
Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit. And
yeah, because he was promoted there by Donald Trump. He was the head. He was the guy on the coronavirus task force because Donald Trump put him there, ma'am. That's his job. Of course he's going to be the pundit about it. That's what he's paid to do. That's how it works.
He publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available.
So, are you saying that it is better for misinformation to spread willy-nilly, or should we try to find a way to kibosh it? Should we instead be researching ways to kibosh misinformation, or do we just let it go unchecked and we let the actual bodies that are dead start piling up? God, this woman is so fucking stupid.
Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations.
It's almost like he's an expert or something.
He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt.
Which paper? Do you want to name the paper? Please tell us the paper so that we can look it up for ourselves.
As legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci.
So you're not going to name the paper. You're not going to tell us the paper that was. You're not going to do that? You're not going to tell us at all? You're just going to leave it there? Ma'am, why should I give a flying fuck? If you're not going to tell us the terrible things he did, and you're not going to tell us the paper that he promoted, and you're just going to keep patting your giant file that nobody's going to read because everybody in MAGA plays Yu-Gi-Oh! I swear to fucking God, not one of them knows how to read. What the fuck is the point of any of this? You're just patting the thing going, this baby can hold so many national secrets.
Not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts.
Yeah, is his area of expertise. He was appointed there by Donald Trump. What do you want from us?
While deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives.
Right, but then which experts are we talking about? Are we talking about, randos that are against vaccines? Sebi says, well, Trump ran one once act like Kaiba. No, he did not. Kaiba has ethics. Kaiba has ethics. So you can't wait to piss on his grave. Okay, is this like saying, hey, actually, I know that you think vaccines are good, but have you listened to the expert in the field, Dr. Andrew Wakefield? No, of course not. We don't listen to stupid, ma'am. It's actually a wonder that we have ears aimed at you at all.
Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying that he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID.
Is that what happened? Or are you lying right now because you're not under oath? Did he actually do that, Tulsi? Because now that you're actually being a little specific about things you've done, but you've been so vague about everything else, I don't know if I can actually trust you. So, just real quick, let's go ahead and look here real quick. Hold on a second. It said Wakefield was trying to sell his own vaccine to replace the combined MMR vaccine. Yep. So do you feel like listening to Tulsi is making you dumber? It is. It is. Anyway, let's go look at some fact checks real quick, okay? Senator Rand Paul and Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, once again had a testy exchange over whether the U.S. funded gain-of-function research in China, with each man accusing the other of lying. Paul also suggested that the research was tied to 4 million people dying around the world from COVID-19, but then backed off the implication, saying nobody's saying those viruses studied in the paper in question and caused it. My God, Rand Paul's an idiot. Anyway, most of the exchange was like a flashback to the clash between the two men on May 11th Senate hearing, which we've written about, but the senator also made a false claim about theories on the origins of COVID-19. Paul said that all evidence is pointing that it came from the lab, but there is no evidence linking the novel coronavirus to a lab. Many scientists with expertise in coronavirus consider a lab escape unlikely, and a natural spillover of the virus from an animal to human is the most likely scenario, based on the data we have so far. Several of these scientists summarize that in their reasonings in a July 7th paper, which has not yet been peer-reviewed, but as of August 19th, the paper has now been published in the journal Cell, which means, you know, there has been a little bit of review there. Anyway, we'll recap here what we've researched about the contention between Paul and Fauci. For more, we're referring our readers to 2 stories about these topics. So, is that what you're talking about? Is that when he lied in front of Congress when he was fighting with fucking Rand Paul? Is that where we're at, ma'am?
Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony. Now, we received statements.
Okay, so I'm just curious. Did he cause COVID-19 or not? Because, like, I'm starting to believe that if anybody is lying in Congress, like, that just means they're in Congress. I hate that. I hate that is the case, but I'm becoming very numb to people in power telling lies. I actually want to see the damage that they have caused. Can you provide me some evidence that he's actually caused damage? I'll grant you that he's a big, fat, dirty liar, whatever. Just can you give me evidence that we should be concerned about the things that he has done?
Statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the
evidence from multiple whistleblowers. All right, that doesn't sound like peer review.
Intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions.
You know that their challenge was perfectly acceptable. Like there's literally contentions on it within the scientific community. It's just they're very, very small. This is how peer review works. We take a whole bunch of people, we get their opinions, and we have peers fucking review them. Jesus Christ.
Faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and
yeah, Andrew Wakefield is marginalized in the scientific community. Who would have fucking thought?
And many suffered career setbacks.
Yeah, again, Andrew Wakefield suffered a career setback. Who cares?
For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocate.
Right. So what was he doing? What was he saying? What was his job before? What was it important? Is it something that we should care about? Or are we just going to be vague?
For the lab leak hypothesis or express.
So you admit it's a hypothesis. Hold up, bitch. Listen. So you admit it's a hypothesis. Not a fact, not a theory, hypothesis. You know what else is a hypothesis? I hypothesize you have hemorrhoids. I have no evidence of it. It's a hypothesis. We have to do science to discover whether or not you, Tulsi Gabbard, have hemorrhoids. But ma'am, anybody can have a hypothesis about any fucking thing. It doesn't fucking matter. Hypotheses are simply us going, man, based on what I know right now, I assume the end result of this thought experiment is this. That's all a hypothesis is. A hypothesis is an educated guess. It is not yet proven. It is not yet a theory. It is not yet a fact. It is an educated guess. Part of the scientific process is putting forward your educated guess and then testing it, figuring out if it has merit or not. A hypothesis is not yet fact. So, ma'am, if your contention with Fauci is that he had contention with the lab leak hypothesis, and your reasoning for that is you believe the lab leak happened, and so you believe that he is somehow responsible for COVID-19, while also simultaneously being part of the party that said COVID-19 was nothing more than a flu, I'm just curious right now. I just need to know, why the fuck should I care if you're actively using the term hypothesis? If you're actively using the term hypothesis, then you are saying, Dr. Fauci disagrees with my guess. That makes me angry, so I am going to smear him with my ass hemorrhoids. Like, no, that's not how that fucking works, you idiot.
Dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not.
Yeah, and leadership determined that Fauci would be promoted, and the leadership was your fucking daddy.
The message was clear. Go along or be punished.
Congratulations, you've described everything in the Trump campaign. Both of them.
Senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward.
Right, so the whistleblowers who were coming forward about the guy that they disagreed with, who got appointed by Donald Trump, who had opinions that were more in line with Donald Trump's. God, I'm so tired.
With their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous...
The American government has an atmosphere of intimidation. Ma'am, they have a thing called monopoly on state violence. I don't think you understand. We are well past the point where that is news.
Hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability.
And I am magically giving it on the last day of my time here because I was hedging my bets the entire time. I was doing everything in my power to make sure that I'd be able to hold my position as long as humanly possible.
The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook.
The deep state? Ma'am. You're part of the intelligence committee. You're the deep state. That's you. You're the deep state, ma'am. If the deep state can describe anybody, it's fucking you.
Politicized self-serving leaders
like Donald Trump,
like Dr. Fauci,
and Donald Trump
covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president.
The duly elected president that hired him for the job? Also, ma'am, you are aware, like, dimly aware, I know, but you are aware that, your president right now, tried to undermine a duly elected president, Biden. Like, you know that, right? That's a thing that happened on January 6th and throughout the entirety of Biden's campaign. This whole, like, no, he's bad, he undermined the grand leader, I want to suck his mushroom, I don't fucking care, ma'am. I don't care. I can't care. It doesn't matter. It can't matter. People undermine the president all the time. I undermine the president when I start my fucking stream. An anime cat girl on the internet, piloted by a fucking cis hetero guy, is talking shit on Donald Trump. There, I am now undermining the president. That's how much weight that statement has. Fucking none.
By restricting his access to the vital facts he needed.
You know that, Trump gets access restricted to him on things all the time because he can't fucking function? Also, Valis, thank you for the 5 community subs. I appreciate it.
To keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
You know, not once in any of that did she actually explain what Fauci did. Like, she said he lied and that we funded research that could be bad. That's it. That's all. It's time you know the truth about what, dumb fuck? My good bitch, I have no idea what you are actually trying to communicate to us. And I know we speak the same language because your AI-generated mouth words at least looked a little bit like mine. Fucking hell. Jessica says, not the community. She was the director of national intelligence. I also keep confusing her with Nancy Mace. Jessica says, gas Suris must be a femboy, disgusting trans ew. God damn it. The truth is, you need to let Daddy Suris into your heart. Oh my god, ma'am, you are so dumb. I like how the first comment on here, Grok, is this true? Grok context? Many core elements like the NIH funding to EcoHealth and Wuhan research and early private concerns about lab origin and coordination to downplay the lab leak hypothesis have already been documented for years. These newly released documents add specific previously unseen primary evidence on the suppression efforts and testimony. You mean the White House attempted to suppress information that would be directly bad for national security? Wow, it's also a day where the fucking week ends with Y. It's a week where the day ends in Y. One of the two. MAGA, Grok, undress her, make her a child. Tulsi Gabbard, let me get this straight. You waited until your last day when you can't be questioned, under oath, face zero accountability, and can't be challenged on a single claim to call an 84-year-old man a mass murderer on your way out the door. That's not courage. That's cowardice. Okay, there's my AI red flag. I fucking hate it. Dr. Fauci served this country for 54 years under 7 presidents, yours included. He treated AIDS patients in the 1980s when colleagues told him it was a career suicide. He helped 25 million lives in Africa throughout PEPFAR. He personally treated Ebola patients instead of delegating. George W. Bush gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The man has lived under armed security since 2020 because of exactly this kind of reckless accusation. At least 2 credible plots to kill him have already been confirmed, and you chose to release this with maximum political nonsense and zero chance for him to actually respond on your final day. Some of these documents may deserve serious investigation, but the way you did this, dropping a political bomb on an 84-year-old man's life and walking away, that's not transparency. That's a drive-by because he resisted your president's nonsense. Dr. Fauci should sue you for every penny. 54 years of saving lives deserves better than your last day hit job. Hey, fucking balls. Hey, Grok, did President Trump ever give Fauci a prestigious medal for his service during COVID near the end of Trump's first term? Yes, on January 19th, 2021, Trump's last full day in office, he awarded the presidential commendations to the Operational Warp Speed team, explicitly including Dr. Fauci. Grok context. Fucking hell. We're always here. We never get to leave. We're always stuck here. Lobotomized Grok makes me sad. Jesus Christ. I've got a fucking rift-bound thing to go to, but my God. How do we live in this timeline where just the administration is so dumb? Anyway, I hope you guys got a laugh out of that. Because my brain is currently dealing with a small aneurysm, and I blame all of you for the blood. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagittarius, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.